The Solo Show, as always, is brought to you by Victor Naraki Realtor, serving Disney and the greater Orlando area with celebratingflorida.com and disneyatyourdoorstep.com. Coming up on The Solo Show.
In this Facebook group, people were posting, like, one lady posted that she's like, I just got more ducks in the mail, and it was like a pack of 24 ducks, and she's like, and I've already got 86 ready to go, and we're like, what the heck?
like I don't understand
125 plastic ducks.
If the ship ever sinks, there'll be 8,000 ducks floating in the ocean.
We can just hold on to a duck or 20.
It's cruise time, Solo Show style, as we show our love for a boat. See what I did there? Stan welcomes Carrie, LeBlanc, and Francine Cochrane from the Pixie Dust Fans Podcast for a return visit to the Solo Studios. They're going to chat with Stan about their cruise with MSC. Wait, what? This isn't a Disney cruise? Are we allowed to do that? Ooh, I love breaking rules. Realtor Victor Naraki makes living near Walt Disney World a reality, specializing in all the communities surrounding Disney. Whether you're looking to relocate or invest in a new property, maybe you want a vacation home for your retirement. With over a decade of experience in the area, Victor will adapt to your needs, help you find the right property, or get you the best price for your property. Reach out to him today on his website, celebratingflorida.com, or at disneyatyourdoorstep.com. Follow him at Victor Naraki Realtor on Facebook, and don't forget to tell him that the Solo Show sent you.
Attention please. At the completion of this announcement, the ship's whistle will sound. You may want to cover your ears. Thank you.
I don't know, Stan. Are you sure Mary Wells approved this show? Okay. Maestro! Broadcasting from the Solo Studios, located poolside on the Lido deck, here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the center of North America, on this little planet we call Earth. This is the Solo Show. On this adventure, Stan welcomes Carrie, LeBlanc, and Francine Cochrane from the Pixie Dust Fans Podcast for a return visit to the Solo Studios. So get ready to soak up some sunshine and some laughs. And now, please welcome your host, the guy who taught Isaac everything he knows about mixology. What's in this drink again? Here's Stan Solo.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Solo Show. I am Stan Solo as always, and joining me today are returning guest Francine Cochrane. This is your third time on the show because we did the Muppet reviews, and also Carrie LeBlanc, and they're from the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast, and they just came back from a cruise, and it's not a Disney cruise. Oh my!
I know, shocking.
Let's find out how this went.
We're traitors. We did.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us back, Stan.
Yeah, this is awesome. So you guys were both on. We did the Muppet Mayhem
yes
series, and we did it in two parts. We did the first. Was it 10 episodes altogether? Or, I don't know. We did half, and then we did half.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Carrie wasn't able to make it to the second half. But did you hear the bad news?
Yes, I did.
Oh, it's miserable.
Unbelievable. They're not doing a sequel to the Muppet Mayhem.
Yeah, why?
I'm not surprised. Like, when it was done, it was amazing, but I could, like, yeah, I'm not surprised because nothing Muppet seems to last, but
Yeah.
I could see them, like, what do they tell next? I kind of thought that too, like, where are they going to go with this?
Well, they ended with them pulling out of the driveway and the van broke down. Spoiler alert. So I thought they were going to continue from there. They're going to go on tour now and visit all these different cities and, do a world tour in their van somehow.
Yeah.
That's what I was
And tell more of their stories, their backstories, probably.
They could have met up with musicians all over the world on tour.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton and Garth Brooks. Like, they could have been everywhere with any.
Yeah.
And they could also just bring back the Muppet Show and do all that without going in a van on a world tour.
I read it's been 10 years that the Lady Gaga Muppet special happened.
No, really?
Yeah, it's been 10 years already. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, we're not here to talk to Muppets today.
But we could talk Muppets all the time.
We could talk Muppets all the time. So the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Tell us about it. What do you guys do there?
Nothing.
show about nothing. Why do you listen to it? Because it's
seriously,
a podcast.
Sometimes I think, you know how Jerry Seinfeld used to say he made a show about nothing?
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes that's Carrie and I on the podcast. Like it's Disney centric because we're both huge Disney fans, but there's some Muppets in there. There's all sorts of stuff in there, but sometimes like we literally just talk about nothing. And yeah, that's but it's, you know, Disney focused, and we love Disney, and we just try to be positive and upbeat. And
like, I have to say, like, Carrie, you entered that puzzle building contest with your friend. That was riveting. Like, I was so into that. It was crazy. Like, I was like, when are they going to release the results of the puzzle contest show? I was waiting for it to come out. And it was so cool. Congratulations. You did very well.
Thanks. It was awesome. We can't wait for the next one.
Yeah. And it's less than a year away. So
it's so exciting. So
check out
I have to start training again. Like I didn't even get to have a chance to
rest.
There's no rest for you athletes. You got to train all the time. Gotta get those puzzle skills. The muscle memory will disappear if you don't.
Exactly.
All righty. Okay, so let's talk about this cruise. So it was an MSC cruise. I have no idea what MSC stands for. Monosodium something, I'm guessing.
No.
You know what? I don't even know. We should have looked that up.
It's I think it's like the Mediterranean Shipping Company or something like that.
Oh,
okay.
It's a 300-year-old like family business, or however many years old, that was a shipping company, and then they turned into they're still a shipping company, I believe, like a big shipping company, and they have a cruise line now. So
was your room kind of basically just like a storage container?
Maybe they started out that way. I don't know. Like the interesting thing about like us going on this cruise is that like MSC is a European cruise line, and they're known to be a little less traditional or like an American cruise line, right? So they get it like on the outside looking in, people make assumptions about them that there's all kinds of things that are horrible about them. Like they don't necessarily get a rave review from people, and Disney can't be any more opposite, right? Like a Disney cruise is you know, so everybody dreams of a Disney cruise. It's on their bucket list, and we were going on a cruise. You know, we didn't feel this way for very long when we were deciding. We started to see the bright lights of this opportunity, but yeah, when we were first trying to decide, we were like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
like the anti-Disney.
So I was listening to the podcast, and I was doing some kind of craft as usual. I listened to my podcast. My wife was in the other room, and she was kind of listening too. And you guys were talking about doing this MSC cruise. And I said to her, I said, hey, maybe we should check out MSC. And she says, no, don't you remember we watched that video, the top 10 worst cruise lines? And MSC was like the number one. One that we should never, ever, everybody got sick every time they ride on it. Oh, man. I said, oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, now I remember.
And that's the reviews are very polarizing. Like we did see, we made these decisions so quickly. Like it was like, do you want to do it? No, okay. And then
I was looking, Fran, on my credit card statement. We booked the cruise on November 1st, and we sailed on the 17th.
Right.
I was going to say, this was like a last minute cruise that you guys did.
So we didn't really think about it much. We didn't know much about it. We didn't, whatever. But the first reviews we were reading were horrible. And then it was like, okay, but they say the pizza's okay, so we can eat that pizza for the week or whatever, right? Like we just figured, whatever, we'll just try it. We're pretty easygoing. And then I have to say, once we booked, then we started finding more positive reviews. Like, I don't know how that happened, but we ended up on the side of the positive reviews.
That's the Google's algorithms.
Exactly. They knew we were going.
Yeah.
Well, and like the Disney cruisers make Facebook pages. I guess maybe all cruise line cruisers do this, but we got, I was like old fashioned looking on like Cruise Critic, like digging for like blogs or whatever. And then Fran just sends a link and she's like, there's a Facebook group for a cruise.
Just join this.
Yeah, so it was the MSC Meraviglia November 17th cruise group. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, fancy that they do the same thing. I'm sure everyone does that. I'll close my Cruise Critic window right now and look there. But we were looking like both of us probably read every single post to date. And then it was like very quickly we felt like like, yeah, it's far
We're
from
gonna
what
be
people
fine.
are saying. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be, it will be fine. There were some funny things we were, not concerned about, but
Scratching your
like
head about.
scratching our noggins about, but generally, yeah, probably within 24 hours, we were beyond are we really doing this? And we were excited because
Yeah.
it sounded
And
pretty cool.
and on your podcast, when you were talking about booking this and doing it, you were talking about how the Facebook group is very similar to the Disney Facebook group, where these people have done a lot of cruises. Like they've been MSC lifelong people. Like they, and they're experts. They know everything about it.
Yeah.
And even when we got on the cruise, like this group they started like a group chat, and even some of the negative Nellies that were in there, like everybody was like, just chill out. Like there's people like during the cruise, like posting and being like, can I get some edible food? And everybody else is like, take a break. You're a flake. You're whatever. Like, give it up. Like, why do you got to come in here and say all that stuff, right? Like everybody else is like doing the conga line with like, the pizza off the pizza buffet. And he's like, I can't find anything good to eat. So, so there was some negative stuff in that group.
Group.
But the positive stuff
definitely outweighed
and answered all of our questions. Like that we still had some things we were pondering, but I think we could puzzle out some of or we'd be like, remember that Facebook post said this or that? We definitely use that as a very important resource for being prepared.
Yeah.
So is there anything that the group does on this cruise that like Disney cruises, like people hide the ducks and people have the fish extenders on Disney cruises? Do they do stuff like that too, like as a group and meet up? And
yeah, we were kind of surprised. Like they did.
There were a ton of meetups,
obviously, but there was lots of meetups. They were even doing a gift exchange, which I think was like, because we were like, is it because it's Thanksgiving? Are they going to meet somewhere and do a Secret Santa? But I think when they talked about the gift exchange, they were talking about like a fish extender thing, because I think it was just little tokens of things that they were leaving, right? Like I think that's what they were talking about. So they even did that. They did a casino. What would they call it?
They did a group slot pull or something. Where everybody pitched in money to go and like play one slot machine as a team, like almost like a lottery. Like, how you do those lotto pools at work where everybody pools their money to buy tickets. They were doing a group slot machine pull. There was, so they did that. They had different meetups for everything. Like they had a singles meetup, they had a group meetup, like there were a lot of them.
So maybe the Disney things aren't that weird. Maybe they just adapt and do their own on the different.
We didn't do any. We didn't.
Okay.
And lots of duck talk. Like everybody, like
everybody in
this Facebook group, people were posting. Like one lady posted that she's like, I just got more ducks in the mail, and it was like a pack of 24 ducks, and she's like, and I've already got 86 ready to go, and we're like, what the heck?
I don't understand
125 plastic ducks.
If the ship ever sinks, there'll be 8,000 ducks floating in the ocean.
We could just hold on to a duck or 20 to float.
I don't understand the whole duck thing, but yeah. And then there was like some people put it was just ducks everywhere, and then they were saying somebody stole the ducks, and then they couldn't find some of the ducks. It was nuts.
Towards the end, they were getting desperate. They wanted to find a duck, but they hadn't, right? Like
like I haven't found any
ducks during the week. So in our little chat, then they're talking about, does anybody got a duck? Help me find a duck.
Man. So I messaged you too, and I said, hey, I want you guys to come on and talk about your cruise, and let's compare it to the Disney cruise. And Francine says, well, there's no comparison. Well, you get what you pay for. These are a lot less expensive than, say, a Disney cruise would be. Carrie, you were kind of looking at the pricing.
It's like a quarter. It's like a quarter of the price on some of the sailings, right?
Yeah.
So that's a check mark on the MSC box.
It is. It's you know what? It's one of those things, and we talked about it a lot on the cruise of, well, how do you compare this, and what would you say? And for people like Carrie and I, we're very easygoing, we're go with the flow, whatever. I think the biggest irritant I had all week was that they didn't put butter out next to the bread. It drove me nuts. The butter in the bread, like Carrie was sick of me talking about it.
Like they didn't have mayonnaise or did nothing. They
No. Like they had butter, but it was not next to the bread. Like they would have all this beautiful bread out, but no butter.
You had to take an elevator
the bread was really
and go
good.
to the
No,
urn.
it wasn't that. It wasn't that. In the group, Fran read that they say like this buffet. This is a huge ship, so this buffet was like the size of a regular buffet, but maybe add another quarter of it on either like like they're double sided, so like a whole other section.
Oh,
of
you're
the
talking
buffet.
about at the buffet. Okay, I'm picturing they bring it to your table.
No. We're talking about the buffet.
Sorry.
So the buffet is really, really, really big. And Fran read a note that said when you go to the buffet, it's going to be busy like during the busy times, but go long. So we walk through this humongous buffet to the very, very end, and they kind of have a section has almost everything, but it's at the very, very back. And there was sometimes lines there, but we could always find seating or whatever. Mm-hmm. Back there, they never had any butter.
They never had butter.
So like you pretty had when you ate at the buffet, you pretty much had to do loops. Like I did at least one loop, if not two, sometimes three loops, because it'd be stuff in different food in different spots. And if I got pizza or bread or whatever, and I wanted some butter, I knew I had to do another loop or whatever. But yeah, there was no butter in the back of the. And the one thing too that there was no ketchup for the first part of the cruise, and everybody
they lost it.
Well, this is the thing.
There was big drama in the group.
Yeah, like people got off the ship in Miami and brought ketchup back on. But this is the thing that when Fran and I say we were talked about a lot of stuff is that like the stuff that we think about was like were they just out? Like where do they fill up? Like did they stock the ship in Miami? So if the ship had went to Bermuda and back and then was coming down, like maybe they ran out on the there was probably no opportunity to get more ketchup on the last cruise because maybe they only stock up in Miami. These are the things that we and ponder about. Like all of these.
I think the ketchup is still sitting on the dock. We're in New York. That's
yeah.
I don't know. I think a cruise ship probably I think that they ran out, and then when we got to Miami, we had ketchup everywhere. We had ketchup again. But those are the things we pondered the whole to that degree. Like so, instead of saying like this was horrible and not like Disney, we were saying it's not like Disney. But then we'd be like, I wonder why. Like I wonder why do they have a ketchup shortage? Like how do they do this? How do they figure out who
where do they order from?
Yeah, we're like wouldn't that be an interesting job to be the person that orders all of the supplies for the kitchen? Like these are the things that we talk about all week when we're on a cruise where we're doing nothing.
You want butter? You want ketchup? $2.
We should have brought something. Next time we're gonna bring ketchup.
Sell it to the bring my own butter.
So
this cruise, you started in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And how many nights was it?
8 nights. Yeah.
So
and we sailed from Brooklyn, not the New York port.
Okay.
Not the New York City port, the Brooklyn port, which was fun, different. Yeah.
Okay. I've never been to New York or Brooklyn, so sure.
Yeah, it was, you know what? It's something that when you think about when people are booking cruises and they think I'm sailing out of New York, like it's important. There's like three or four airports. You got to make sure you're flying into the right one and then you're going to the right cruise port because they're not next door.
Yeah.
And there's traffic.
And the traffic, yes.
Very expensive.
That was the other thing. So you guys did what everybody says don't do, and you flew in the day of your cruise.
Yeah.
Why?
We did.
What?
in our logic, flying from Toronto to New York, there are so many flights. There are like probably 6 or 7 flights a day going from Toronto. Yeah. So we looked at the flights and there were, I think, 4 or 5 before noon, like Carrie said, starting at 6 a.m. So we were like, if something happens to our flight, we'll just get on the next one. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Like the absolute worst thing is we'd go a little later, but we did buy the options on the flights that were changeable. So we knew if they were forecasting a huge snowstorm, then we would have changed it and flew out the night before.
The day before. Okay.
Yeah.
But we didn't want staying in the city and extra Uber rides and all that stuff would have added hundreds and hundreds of dollars. We could have brought another person on the cruise with us. The cost would have been to, to and from the hotel and whatever, eating dinner in New York City. We could have brought someone else along.
Yeah. Okay. Now, We talked about price. The other thing too that you mentioned was that the MSC allowed you to use your Disney status.
Yeah,
That's
was
pretty
huge.
incredible.
We talked about that a lot last week too.
Yeah, that was huge. I think when I saw that they had that status match, I didn't know how it was going to work. So we both kind of submitted what we have for Disney, and they came back. So Carrie came back as gold. I came back as diamond, which is like their highest tier.
Wow. And what are you with Disney?
Platinum.
You're platinum, and Carrie, you're gold. Okay.
Yeah. So it definitely, like, that diamond status got us quite a bit on, like, they really treated us well with that status. We got priority boarding, so we got off our flight first thing in the morning. We jumped in our Uber. We were at the dock. And basically we waited in the holding room like 10 minutes or something.
I don't even think it was that long. Stood up. We were on the ship just after 10 o'clock in the morning, which was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think, like, for people thinking about MSC, like, that status match is huge. Like, and okay, maybe they'll match anything. Like, for goodness sakes, they'd probably match your Alamo. Like, they match hotels, they match airlines, they match anything. So if anybody has like serious status, like, it's worth matching. And I even think, like, if you're a cruiser, like, not like, you don't get the diamond level, like gold, you get the gift, you get some discounts on board and stuff like that. But like, if you like them, then you're already up ahead. Like, you might as well, like, if you like them and you're going to cruise again, and you're already a member and you've earned points on that, and then the next one you'll keep earning, right? So it even makes sense, like, if you think you're gonna, like, you should do it no matter what, because if you think you will cruise with them again, then you're kind of giving yourself the first step ahead instead of waiting to cruise with them for the first time or whatever. So did
you get a gift in your room like Disney has? If you're silver, gold, or platinum, you get
we got gifts. Like, we got perks all week. So we got our little tote bags that we got.
The tote bag, I think, is the past passenger,
right, which you get because you're of whatever the status is. We got slippers, we got robes, just to use on the ship. Obviously, we didn't take them all. We love the robes. We got champagne in the room one night, Prosecco. We got a chocolate chip. We got the macarons from that chocolate store down. They were delicious. We got invited to a returning guest champagne reception, and then we got invited to a diamond reception.
That was cool. That was really cool.
That was a nice one. I had caviar at that one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're so, like, that. It's the smartest thing. Like, it is.
We felt like royalty.
And really, like, I don't know what you get. Like, I don't know what you get as a platinum on Disney. Like, I don't know what their new Pearl, like, if they've added some extra things for the Pearl travelers, like the 25 plus or whatever, but I don't think that they have.
I think you get your name plastered on a board at Castaway Key.
Oh yeah, if you're
Pearl,
if you're Pearl. But yeah, and they broke, like, we were also used to, like, Disney, like, you get in the room and everything's there. Like, if you've ordered any gifts, if you've got everything, like, it's all just you arrive and it's there, everything you need. But they kept giving us stuff, like, every single night was a surprise. I think we got complimentary dance lessons if we wanted them.
Oh yeah, remember, we didn't do the dance lessons, but we did get complimentary dance lessons.
Okay.
And Carrie's right. Like, the invitations to these things showed up, like, every day there was something new. So it felt like a new surprise every day instead. Like, when you get them all at once on the first day, then it's done. But this, like, they stretched it out. I think it was like night 3 when we got our Prosecco and macarons.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And
that's what they did for us on the Princess Cruise, because I'm an Onyx with Air Miles.
Right.
They were giving me, like, every day there was something extra that they gave. I went to a wine tasting one day for no charge, and it was great. Yeah,
you might be the diamond on
MSC
with that Onyx.
With Onyx, maybe.
And I think too, like, we were talking, like, with when it comes to, like, service or whatever, like, our room steward, we had read
he
that
was lovely.
He was the best, but we had read, like, the staff aren't the same or whatever. And when we got on board, like, we know when I was in Europe, like, there was no face cloth anywhere, like, so we packed some face cloths but it said, like, in the groups, like, if you're missing anything in the room, just ask. And so we got there and there was no face cloths, I don't think, and there was not enough towels or whatever, and we said to our steward, like, we'll need a few of these things, and he said yes, of course, and he said, we're just very, very busy today, like, we have so much work to do to get the rooms all ready. But he's like, if you need anything, you just ask for it. And we asked for that stuff, like not needing it right away, but he made sure we had it by bedtime. Like he had, when we came back, he had all the towels and whatever. But yeah, like they seem that they have lots of rooms to clean and like our steward had lots to do. And you know, spreading it out throughout the day, like it takes him the whole day to probably get all of his tasks done. But even like with that, like, you know, maybe their service isn't, maybe it's just that they're like, they have more rooms than other cruise lines, or they have more tasks to do or whatever, that they can't always be ahead of the game like that because there's so much that they have to do. But he made it clear, like anything you ladies need, you all like ask. You know, we don't have to go without face cloths all week because they don't put them in the room. But if, you know, we ask for them, we get them too. So that kind of cleared up, and by day 2, we had got to know our room steward so much we wanted to take him home with us.
He was so lovely. He was so nice.
You know what? That kind of, I could see that. Because like they are saving, they have to cut costs somewhere.
Yes.
So like the Disney servers, the room service people, I know they're very busy and they work very, very hard and they work long hours, but they never seem to be under the wire. Right? They never seem to be behind or trying to catch up. They probably have more stewards per, you know, than
that might be why they cost more. That's the conclusion.
We came to the conclusion there are more staff to guest ratios on Disney. There has to be, because this like it was harder. Like sometimes you didn't get a drink. Like there weren't servers there when you were looking. And honestly, like if you hadn't been on a Disney cruise, you maybe wouldn't notice it, right? Like things like we talked about that, like when he said to us, like, I got a lot of cabins to clean, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure the Disney people do too, but they would never tell you.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So you would never, that's not part of their service is to share that they're under the gun. They've got a lot of work. They're tired. They're hungry. They're whatever. Yeah. Whereas I think on other lines, they don't have that same, it's just a different level of service. And
the Disney difference.
That is the Disney difference, right?
Yeah.
Like I, as much as I know my Disney room stewards work their butts off, I never felt bad for them.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like I never felt bad for them. I felt like they were taken care of. And I don't know for sure if they are or they aren't, but I never felt like they weren't. So I never felt like as part of my vacation, like I needed to take care of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
no,
that's
I
the difference.
I agree completely. I agree 100%. Yeah.
And the fact that there's always like maybe Disney says we will never run out of ketchup.
Never.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why you're going to
and the butter is next to the bread where it should be.
You need butter. It's going to be right next door.
It's going to be right
bread.
there. Yes.
And you go on a Disney cruise and you're at the buffet, and as soon as your plate is empty and you put your fork down, they take it away from like they're there. They're on it.
And you would never walk up in the morning to a breakfast buffet and there be no eggs.
Right. Yeah.
And you have to walk down, like either wait 5 minutes or walk down the thing. Like that would never happen. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you mentioned the buffet. Is there quick service stations? Is there table service? Is that included? What other food options are there? Is it extra?
So you do the sit down, like you are assigned a dining room, and it's the same dining room the whole, like your whole cruise, right? So you get assigned a table in your dining room.
Sad.
They have 3 dining rooms and three seatings. Yeah. That's how many people were on board.
Okay.
Yeah. And three dining rooms, 3 seatings.
Are the dining rooms all exactly the same?
No, they're decorated differently, but I think they don't
get to go to different ones. You stay in the same one.
You stay in the same one.
Oh, I don't like that.
So that we didn't actually like the dining room because it was very it was noisy and it was a bit crowded. Like the tables were very close to each other.
Very low ceilings, like kind of traditional old cruise ship low ceilings.
Yeah, so we only had 2 or 3 meals in there. I think
the meals were fine. And the
meals were
fine. Absolutely.
Yeah. But we didn't eat a lot in there. They had specialty dining that you could make reservations for. Okay. We did 2 of them. Oh, that was another thing we got for Platinum was we got one of those free. Nice. And we did the steakhouse with our free one, and that meal was delicious.
It was excellent.
Like, oh my goodness, it was so good. And then another night, Carrie managed to go and get us reservations at the Mexican place, the Mexican restaurant.
Hola Tacos.
And that was delicious. We had a fantastic meal in there.
So hang on, is Ola Tacos a quick service or a table service?
It's a table service.
Table service.
So they have
table service tacos. I don't think I've even heard of such a thing.
Yeah. So they had what did they have? The dining rooms that were free, the buffet that was complimentary, and there was by the pool, like there was pizza and burgers and fries and stuff by the pool. That and the ice cream there. That was the only complimentary. And then when we went on the private island, there was complimentary buffet like at Disney. But then I think they might have had 4 or 5 specialty dinings. And the one thing, like if you pre-book them, I think you can get them at a very reasonable price. So like it's not even like they look delicious and smell delicious when we walked by them, and the ones that we had were amazing. And they were like if you wanted to stack your trip with like 3 of them, like it was fairly reasonable for sure to do them, which I know for some of the other, not Disney, but some of the other cruise lines that I've experienced, like when you're and maybe when you're on board, they might cost a heck of a lot more versus if you purchase them in advance, but they can be pretty pricey, like $100 a person or whatever to dinner.
Yeah. Well, even the Disney one is kind of pricey if you want to do
Palo or whatever for dinner.
Or Remy, yeah.
Disney, like there's only one and 2 choices, and like lots of times people treat it like probably as a special occasion, or mom and dad having a dinner away from the kids or whatever, where I think other ships are banking on you eventually wanting to do lots of specialty dining and spending the extra money, whereas I think the Disney is a little different.
Our Ola taco was the cheapest of the extras, but we loved it. It was
like we didn't pre-plan it or whatever.
No,
$8 a person. It was all you can eat, whatever was on the menu.
Okay.
And we just kept ordering stuff, and it was really good. It was really good.
Nice. Very nice. So you kind of mentioned about getting a time away from the kids. Is there a lot of kids on this cruise? Like, is there kids rooms? Is there kids areas?
I think there's a lot of things about this cruise that I think like it's hard to tell. It was Thanksgiving,
right?
So there was lots of multi-generational families, but like that's a cruising thing. But like like groups of 20 people that look like they were traveling together. Many of them, like you'd see them in the buffet late at night, or at off times there'd be rows and rows of them, and they all look like they were families traveling together. So lots of kids, but I think a lot of people seem to be having like family time together. Like we saw them playing games and playing cards and playing dominoes and doing stuff in the areas, which was kind of weird. Like everyone was watching football out on the pool deck because American Thanksgiving's like huge for football, right? So
there was the kids clubs upstairs
for sure,
where they had like basketball, where they had like games arranged for them. And even one night, one of their shows, like after dinner, was the kids parade. They were doing a parade for Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So they had like organized kids activities for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but
did they have anything special for Thanksgiving as far as food goes?
I think they had turkey
dinner.
We had pizza that night, but they had
a little bit.
It's not our Thanksgiving; it's American Thanksgiving.
They had turkey. Yeah,
they did, but lots of football. They had turkey. They had like a show with the kids, like Fran had said, for like a little turkey. The kids had little turkey hats on and stuff. But I don't think the programming was anywhere near as robust as any of the other. Like we didn't really indulge in the kids program because we can't. We walked by it a few times. We saw the kids, but like I think it's safe to assume that it's far from what to expect. Not even like Disney's Disney, but even the other ones. I think it seemed like every time we walked by, they were in the gym area, and like it was more like a summer camp, like kids playing and doing stuff like that, those types of activities. But yeah, we could have, I think, toured the kids area.
We probably could have, but we didn't.
Yeah.
But the family seemed to be having lots of fun, whether they were in the kids clubs or not. So
I'm just picturing the entertainment one night was the kids parade.
Oh my gosh,
that seems a lot of money on entertainment.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing: Carrie and I cannot comment on the shows and the entertainment on board, because we didn't go to any.
Any of the entertainment or the shows?
We saw live entertainment around the ship, but we didn't go to the shows.
We didn't go to the shows.
Fantastic! Everybody, like, there's people that commented and said they were just as great as any other cruise show you've ever seen.
And there were big lineups to get into them and everything. Yeah. Like they were popular.
And you have to reserve them and use the app to reserve them or whatever.
Wow.
They had live entertainment around the ship, which was excellent. We watched that. But what they would do is like they have like this ship in particular has like Fremont Street type screen that runs along their promenade.
Mhm.
So like they show graphics on it every night, and it's a different theme. So every night at like 8:15, the entertainment troupe would come down and dance for us. It would only be 5 or 10 minutes, and it was to kind of alert everybody that at 10:30 there was going to be a party in the adults area. And the adults area is in, I don't know if it was in the back or the front of the ship. There was an adults pool, an adult bar, an adult lounge area. And if you didn't make it a point to find it and look for it, you would be on that ship for a week and you would never find it. So it's almost like in the promenade, they did the show in the sky, and then the dancers would come out and dance whatever theme it was that night. And I think it's really more to like be like, because no one would ever find that, like, unless they were like, I'm here to dance, I'm here for the disco, and I've got my outfits. Like, most people wouldn't even know that existed. So it was sort of like don't forget tonight there's a party for anybody that wants to party. But on our balcony at 10:30, when you opened up our balcony, we were at the front of the ship, and I think that was at the back of the ship. Do you think, Fran, it was at the back?
I think it was at the back.
Because when we came down from the buffet, it was up there, right? We could hear the boom chicka boom from our forward balcony, and we'd be like, boy, that must be one heck of a party. Whether anybody shows up, we don't know, but we could hear the music.
But notice Carrie saying we heard it because we were never there. We never made it to we never made it to the party at 10:30.
Just there to relax. We
never made it.
Tucked in bed watching Home and Garden television by 10:30.
Watching Barney Miller reruns.
Oh my gosh, it was terrible. Yeah.
The pictures you posted look beautiful. It looks like a gorgeous ship.
Oh yeah, the ship was beautiful. The ship was beautiful. I think, even like our room, our balcony was lovely. We had a great view. It was a great ship. I mean, I think there were a couple things that we were like, why would they do that, or the configuration or whatever. But quite frankly, like, you don't need to be that nitpicky. Like, it was only because we were doing a comparison that we were like, I probably wouldn't have put the closet right next to the bed. Like, every night we had to push Carrie's bed out of the way to get into the closet. Right? Like, that was kind of some of the design choices maybe we wouldn't have made. But yeah, like it was a beautiful ship, especially like that promenade where they had the singers at night with the piano, and like it was just beautiful. It was beautiful, and lots of rooms at the pools and stuff like that. Like that was a big pool they had in the middle of the ship. And then they also had an indoor pool that they opened the hatch when it was warm, but they kept it closed when it wasn't. And then the adult pool at the back. Like there were a lot of loungers and places to sit, even with the like. I can't even tell you how many people were on the ship. It was, it was
good. It was sold out. Like, there'd probably be less because there's probably more children than usual, maybe.
Yeah.
For the holidays, but they said it was sold out. Like, there was a thing when we got on board that said the ship is.
Yeah.
Good thing you booked when you did.
Yeah.
And you got a decent room. You didn't get midship though. You got at the front.
We were forward. Yeah. We were just kind of at the edge of forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on the Wish, we had the very front room. It was like right at the very front of the ship.
Nice.
So we had our window pointed out so we could see the front of the ship.
That's
but
cool.
it was a ridiculously designed room. Like, it was absolutely made no sense at all. Like the ceiling was like really low because it was.
Because we're at the front.
Yeah,
right.
It'd be like in an attic. It was what it felt like. The way the ceiling was, you had to kind of duck your head down and go underneath this thing to look out the window. That's even weird. The Disney Wish has a lot of goofy designs in it with the 2 elevator stations only. Like,
Yeah. So, we didn't there were lots of elevators on this one.
Yeah. There was only 2 there was 2 banks of elevators, but more elevators, and then they had kind of like secret glass window elevators up the sides. So, but no one really ever took them because you didn't see them. But there was 2 big banks of elevators.
Secret. You have to be in the club to know about those.
Yeah.
So this one, something that Disney doesn't have is that this one has a casino.
Yeah.
So did you lose, go, win, do well? What did you check it out at all?
It just depends on what time of the evening you asked me whether I was winning or losing.
We didn't spend too much time in there, but we gambled a little bit.
We did. We were actually very responsible, but it was one of those things where, I think I texted Carrie at one point because she left me at my machine, and I was playing $20 and I was up to like 200 on the
Oh,
slot.
wow. Time to
And
walk
I
away.
text her a picture of it, and I'm like, I'm winning. And then she took too long. Like 2 minutes later, or 3 minutes later, she messaged me back. She's like, cash out and run. And I'm like, too late. It's gone.
Too late.
It's gone. I started betting $5 at a time. I got cocky, and then before I knew it, it was all gone.
Now, was there a smoking section in the casino?
Yes.
Now, okay, so when we did the Princess Cruise, there was a casino and there was a smoking section in the casino, and I'm not a fan of smoke at all. And I found that was one of my biggest gripes with the Princess Cruise was the smoke would waft throughout the entire ship. Like you'll be 2 decks up, 3 decks up, and you get a swift of smoke, and it just stays in the ship. Did you find that at all?
Not throughout the ship. I think so. I'm an ex-smoker, so now I'm like super sensitive to it.
Okay.
I think it did kind of permeate throughout the casino a bit. Because of course they have a smoking section and a non-smoking section, and the smoking section is right next to the non-smoking. So of course it comes over. As an ex-smoker, I can't be around stale smoke because it just like then I want one. So I stayed in the non-smoking part, but it didn't go throughout the ship. Like we really didn't notice. I think they did a really good job with their smoking sections because there was just that part in the casino, and then the other smoking area was on the pool deck, one side. So one side was smoking and one side was non-smoking. So it was pretty quick on day one. We figured out which one was which, and we just walked down the other side, and I never smelled it. And I can smell it a mile away. Like ask Carrie if we're walking down the street and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can smell that. It's delicious. Right? Like
I think this casino, they kind of had it built like kind of tucked in its own little area. But I've heard that from other cruise ships that you do smell the smoke because they make like the more grand, like this was a low ceiling, it's like little alleyway that was the casino, and it was only casino and that's it. And I've heard other cruise ships like they make them more grand, right? Like higher ceilings or multi-levels or whatever, and then it's kind of open to like beside the atrium or something or whatever. But I've heard that a lot, that the casino, like people like that there's casinos, but they hate that the smoke in the casinos kind of messes up the air for other.
Well, the people that smoke like it, that there's a smoke in the casino.
Oh yeah, because you think about it, if you're a smoker, like if you're a smoker, they're not going to get any money out of you, because if you got to go for a smoke every 10 minutes, you're cashing out and leaving. So yeah, I get why they do it, but yeah. But it wasn't bad.
We went cruising with our in-laws, and my father-in-law, I think he's probably 2 or 3 packs a day. I don't know how many he smokes, but he smokes a lot. And we would not see him the entire cruise ever.
Oh yeah.
Until dinner.
Yep.
And where were you all day? He goes, I was in the smoking section. I go, I didn't even know there was a smoking section on the ship.
Yeah.
On a Disney
ship. Oh my gosh, they're the best ones. The ones on the Dream up by the pool next to the bar. That was like, you could just plant me there when I was smoking. You could plant me there. I'd be there the whole time. It was fantastic.
Picked up a week later.
That's how my father-in-law was. And then he's talking about Dorothy and Robin and Bill.
He's made friends.
What are you talking about? Oh, these are all the people I'm smoking with. That
is the one thing about smokers. They create this little community, and then you start talking, and then you become friends. Yeah.
Something that I really enjoy doing on cruise ships is doing like the trivia games and stuff like that, or going to the karaoke night. You didn't do any of that, did you? You didn't even know if they had it.
Oh, they had it. They did. They had lots of trivia.
Oh, we did go to karaoke night. Remember in that bar up in the corner?
Yep.
Yeah. There were that was fun. We did a little bit of that. Yeah.
Like they had like in the programming, they had trivia throughout the day, and they had karaoke, they had live entertainment like music, they had dance, they had like areas where they were dancing to theme. They had crafts, I think, in the afternoon. And I think a lot of those things were listed like adults only, like it didn't say family or whatever, because I think they were expecting like the kids to be, if they were going to do something activity wise, they were going to be in the kids club.
No jugglers. The ceilings are too low. There's no jugglers.
No jugglers.
No stilt walkers. No jugglers.
No stilt walkers. Yeah. Oh man! So, is this something you guys are you going to have a Pixie Dust Fan Podcast cruise on MSC soon, or
maybe
we might have to, because I think we could hold like a whole day court in that spa we went to. Like it was definitely. I would cruise it again. 100%. I would do an MSC cruise again. Yeah. Yeah.
So value for the dollar, you found it was well worth
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was nothing that we thought was horrible at all. Far from it.
No.
Far from it. And I think
Excellent. Good to hear. So I was kind of looking at I went to their website and I was looking at some of their cruises, and what I really, really want to do is I want to do like a New York to Eastern Canada cruise in the fall and get to see, like, because I've never been west of or east of Ottawa.
Right.
In Canada. So, and I've never been to New York. I really like to go to New York. So I look and they have them advertised that they have these Eastern Canada cruises. So when I go to their website and they list 15 cities, but none of them are Canadian. I think they start in New York and then they go to like 5 days in the ocean and they go to Miami, but it's listed as a Canadian cruise.
Right.
And it goes to Miami, then it goes to some island and it comes back to New York. And I'm like, well, wait a minute here. Where's the Canada part?
Where's the Canada part?
I wonder if they even do those ones. Like, I think they're fairly new to North America, so I think they only have like maybe 5 ships here, if that, or 4 ships. And they were telling us there was going to be another one here. They might not do that itinerary, but why would they name it Canada?
They list it as Eastern Canadian or Boston cruise type of thing, and there's
weird. Weird.
So,
yeah, it was nice. We had 4 sea days. So that was, I mean, we probably would have been happy with less because we don't get off the ship necessarily in ports. So that's when the ship is the best for us because everybody's off the ship.
Yeah, for sure. So check out the Pixie. Anything else you want to talk about the cruise?
Highly recommended. Everybody should do a vacation where you do nothing just to recharge the batteries. It was perfect for us. You know what? Oh my gosh. When we say we did nothing, we did nothing.
Wow.
And we were both so in sync about it that there was no, it was great. It was great. I would do it again tomorrow.
When I'm on a cruise, I always got 3 things at the same time I want to do. I'm running all over the place. Everybody says, every time I've seen you, you're running from one place to another because you're late.
Yeah, for sure. But you know what? That might be another thing in terms of the price difference too. Like, you feel like you have to do so much to get the value that you're spending versus, when you're not spending quite as much, you're okay that you're in bed at 9:30 and just sitting puzzling in a pub.
Watching Matlock.
Right? It's okay. So yeah, that's definitely something to consider.
Very good. Very good. All righty. So check out the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. It's everywhere you listen to the solo show. You can check out the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Do you have any pixie dust today you want to talk about?
I do.
Carrie does. Go ahead, Carrie. This is something you guys do on your show. You do the.
And I'm going to probably use it if we record an episode of ours tomorrow. It is December 1st, which means it's the first day of my puzzle advent calendars, and I got 2 of them to do. So I came home from work. I was right. Why I might have tuned into this call right at the exact second was because I was at the kitchen table trying to finish my 2 advent calendar puzzles.
How many pieces do you get a puzzle a day?
Yeah, I think they're only maybe. I have a Disney one that might only be like 25 pieces, but I think the other one might be 50. They're just little. They're just little puzzles.
And you have like a stopwatch going and timing yourself every day.
I don't really like the timing. Kind of takes the fun out of it. It's fun to be excited about a competition and do it with your friends. Like the thing that made that competition awesome was doing it with Glenda, right? That was the fun part of it. But yeah, it's not fun doing. You want to enjoy the puzzle. So you don't want to
moment.
You don't want to take all day long to do it, but you want to take it at the pace that you're happy to do it.
Yeah, no athletes don't enjoy what they do. You're an athlete now.
Yes.
Well, Fran was saying that I was a professional puzzler, and I'm like, I'm a competitive puzzler. I'm not a professional puzzler. I do not make money at this. I'm not a professional.
You have to get sponsorship. You need a racing jacket with all the sponsors on it.
Next time, don't worry. We already got that in the works.
Have Princess Auto or something like that written on your jacket.
Anyways, so yeah, I've got Pixie Dust.
Depot.
Look at that. Oh my gosh. I can't even think of Pixie Dust on the fly. You really put me on the spot here, Stan.
What about your Pixie Dust, Stan?
You know what? this isn't it. But you mentioned advent calendars. I haven't had an advent calendar in forever, and I actually got 2 this year.
Oh wow!
One of them I got the Disney 100th advent calendar from AliExpress.
Nice.
And I gave it a 1-star rating.
Already on day one?
It was, well, I opened it up as soon as it came. As soon as it came, I looked at it and I went, this is such a bad knockoff. Like, it's all grainy, the picture on the front. Like, it's not even well printed. So I opened up, I said, well, if I'm going to open up day one just to see how bad these things are. And my wife goes, you have to wait till December 1st. I go, no, I want to give it a bad review while I still can. It was a Mickey Mouse. It was a little tiny Mickey Mouse. He can't even stand up. And it's like the paint's all blobby on him and everything. It's just horrible. And I went on and my wife got me a Lego Star Wars advent calendar. So I'll be posting those on. But that's not my Pixie Dust. My Pixie Dust is at my non-magical job. I did something magical. I made a big sign on my Cricut or Silhouette or whatever it is, Cameo. I don't know. The machine I have that cuts
stuff.
So I made a big sign and I bought a stuffed penguin and I bought a bunch of little stuffed toys that you would get like on a claw machine type of thing. And we made a Christmas tree and we filled the Christmas tree with these little stuffed toys. And I took the penguin and I hid the penguin somewhere in the store. And on the sign I put, "Hey kids, Peter Penguin ran away. If you see him, let the cashier know where you saw him and you'll get a reward." So today was day one that we did that in the store. And sure enough, there was a mother with a daughter and the son, and they're walking around the store and they're looking up at the ceiling and they're wandering around. And the mother saw it first, and it was so cute. So the mother saw it. She goes, "Oh, I see it. It's in this area." And they're looking around. And the little girl got it. She got so excited. She put her hands in front of her mouth and she started shaking it. "I see him. I see him. I see Peter."
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So when she got to the front, I was there at that front. I took them to the prize tree and they said, "You get to pick you get a reward for finding Peter. You get to pick a prize off the tree." And the girl was so excited. So it was really cute. It was really fun.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So this was entirely, I came up with this idea and I executed it at the store and I think it's going to be a hit. I think it's going to be a hit. So today was day one.
So you're spreading some joy at work.
Yeah.
I love that.
Making the non-magical non-magical job a little bit more magical.
A little bit more magical.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, Francine, do you think of one? You got 10 minutes.
I can think of one because I can see it from here. It's so I cracked open. I brought home from my MSC cruise. On this cruise, I can't remember the name of the store, but it's a chocolate store. And oh my goodness, in this store, like we went for hot chocolate one night. Delicious. But one night we watched them. They were making these marshmallow squares and then they were going through the machine and they were drizzling them with chocolate. Oh my goodness. So we're like, where are these marshmallows? We went back 3 days in a row to look for these marshmallows. They finally sold us some. So the day before we were leaving, I picked up a little tin of them and brought them home and I just cracked them open and they are lovely with a cup of tea and oh my goodness, they're so delicious. It's just marshmallows and chocolate, but for some reason, I got to tell you, when I was doing my grocery order, I had it there. I'm like, okay, maybe I should get some marshmallows and chocolate. Do they have cookies? Nothing.
Oh, well.
There's nothing that you can buy that's just sort of marshmallows and chocolate, unless you make it yourself and assemble it yourself.
Yeah. Well, they have like the powder stuff. That's
chocolate,
but
that's
cool.
That was my Pixie Dust.
Did you see
my chocolate covered marshmallow?
I know for people that don't know, Francine and Carrie are both Canadian, so they can get the Kinder surprises. Do you see that they have the Disney?
I've been trying to find them.
I did not know.
I'm gonna go back. I was at that's where I went, like the Dollar Tree and the Dollarama, thinking like because they charge like $1.99 or $2 for whatever at the grocery stores.
Got a dozen.
Oh my gosh!
And I was in the Dollar Tree and I was looking and they have all the other ones and I'm like, they don't go up and like loads of them and I couldn't find one that was 100.
Yeah, I think my local ones. I bought one and I opened it up and the price was really cute, and so I went back and bought it to buy a dozen, and they were almost all gone. There was hardly any left.
Wow.
So maybe they're already long gone, but I've been looking.
Gone, so.
I want to see what kind of prizes are in it. Can you show me one? Yeah, I need to find some.
Yeah, people that watch the live show on the Grand Circle Tour, they've seen on the live show what they look like.
They're
wow,
cute.
they're adorable.
I need some.
Yeah, they're really nice. They're very well made. I'm so impressed impressed with the Disney 100 Kinder Egg.
Nice.
Well, I find dollar stores have been kind of like TikTok and everything, and like there's nothing that's not told. Like there's dollar and Facebook groups. There's like TikToks and Facebook groups that are for dollar stores. So like, you know, someone posts there's Disney Dollarama has Disney 100 Kinder Egg.
Yeah,
that's a silly example, but you know, they always have like crazy name brand things, and they'll post that Dollarama has this shelf that's whatever this utensil that's a name brand, and then it's on TikTok, and you can't find one, so you go searching for Dollaramas, and dang you TikTok, I can't find anything. So probably the same thing. They're probably like someone probably posted on Dollar Tree Facebook groupies.
Yeah.
Dollar Tree crazies or groupies or whatever they call them, that are Disney Kinder Eggs, and they've been gone forever. There is a Dollarama. I was in them for a while and I got out of them because I would see stuff and then I would go to like the 18 Dollaramas in my city and not be able to get what someone had posted to say was at Dollarama. But they have like a crafting one. Like people post crafts they make with only Dollarama.
Oh yeah, or YouTube. It's huge on YouTube too. Yeah.
But I got out of that one because I was like, that's a little too much. I can't handle that, all that creativity in one.
And for people that don't know, Dollarama is just like General Dollar or Dollar Tree, but it's a Canadian company.
It's become pretty much our Canadian department store because we don't have very many.
It's our Canadian Target.
It's our Canadian department store because we.
Well, I got to tell you, so I bought that penguin on Amazon. I think we paid like $20 or $30 for that penguin, and then I went to Dollarama and they had one that was even cuter for $4.25.
See?
Yeah.
Yep.
We need.
Yeah.
Mine was puffier. Mine was more soft. My Peter Penguin. Alrighty, Ken, take it away.
If you have a brilliant idea for a future edition of The Solo Show and would like to take your turn in the guest host's chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. Tell us your idea for the show, and we'll contact you about a date and a time for you to join us. If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. All logos, sounds, and songs that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned solely by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be, the ownership of The Solo Show podcast. We hope you'll join us for the next adventure on The Solo Show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.